Hi guys, welcome back. So let's talk about Wales's World Cup. Now this is the last of the follow-up World Cup videos. I've done one on England, Ireland and Scotland, and I was very constructive and it was well conceived, even though there were some negatives there we had to talk about. Thank you very much for your feedback on those. So let's look at Wales. Now generally over this World Cup I've been very complimentary about Wales, but some people were saying they didn't quite like the way they played, and we'll come to that sort of thing. And also we've got Warren Gatland leaving, so we'll talk about his legacy as well. But let's dive into their World Cup campaign. First of all, they finished first in their pool, which was a massive plus. It definitely gave them the better quarter-final, I believe. But in their pool, they disposed of Georgia well. That big win against Australia, really hard fought. A good job done against Fiji. And then a tough, if unspectacular, win against Uruguay gets their first place in the pool. So a massive tick for them. That's what they would have wanted. Now they got the quarter-final they wanted, but France came out, played really well until that red card. It looked like they could win it, and Wales just hung in and hung in and hung in, and eventually they picked that 14-man France. So unspectacular performance, but the grit was absolutely there again. And then against South Africa, they tried their hardest, but essentially they just didn't have enough to beat South Africa, who obviously went on to win the World Cup. A lot of Wales fans were very disappointed because they were so close to that final, but 16-19 didn't quite make it, and then they were well beaten by New Zealand in the playoff. So, was it a missed opportunity, or did they overachieve? So first of all, I'm going to say why I was impressed with Wales. They came into this World Cup with a fantastic set piece. Their set piece was brilliant. Their scrum especially really impressed me. I didn't know if it would be that good. It was. You saw what South Africa did to England in the scrum in the final, and Wales really did a lot better than that when they played South Africa. And you don't win any games in the world, big games in the World Cup, you don't get close to being in a final without a great set piece, and they got that one ticked. Their defence has been a characteristic of Warren Gatland or Sean Edwards' team, if you like. And again, it was really, really on point at times. It was very committed. And a lot of that, won them the games. Fitness was exemplary, as it always has been. That's one of Warren Gatland's legacies for Wales. He really took fitness in Wales to a new level, and everyone played catch up, and they've kind of caught up now, but they have always been up there and were one of the forerunners in the modern drive for fitness. Then we come to the game plan, okay? Warren Gatland came up with a game plan to win. He came up with the game plan he thought would win, and it wasn't spectacular. It relied on individuals to do great things, and I think as their individuals they lost through injury, that's where they really started to struggle to reach the high points they needed to maybe get to a final or win a final. But anyway, Warren Gatland, I will make this point now. Warren Gatland is employed to win for Wales. We know he makes tough decisions and he doesn't shy away from it. Now, there was plenty of calls for them to be a bit more expansive, including myself in the build-up, but he stuck to his guns. He said, this is what I think this Wales team needs to do the best they can. Now, we don't know how well they would have done if they'd changed that game plan. Many people said they'd have had a better chance, but maybe losing Anscombe at the beginning was the nail in the coffin for that, and they knew their players, their 10s, were more suited to playing a more structured basic game. Look, I generally don't mind. If they think it's the best game plan, that's what they're there for. And I'll refer to one of my favourite sports people of all time, Devon Larratt, the world champion arm wrestler. And he said in a big interview when he had a few defensive moves as well as attacking moves, you should let an elite sport, let victory be your guide. And that's what Warren Gatland has always done. And another reason why I've praised them, even though some of their performances haven't been stellar, is they have struggled for their best players. Wales, small player pool, their domestic teams haven't been fantastic over recent years. They have to maximise what they've got, and they lost key players. Faletau was an absolute huge loss. He would have added quality in the loose handling, line out, etc. Anscombe, like I said, had that extra flair they needed. And then losing Liam Williams towards the end, I really thought they wouldn't do it, but they came so close. Plus, their two premier centres, Parks and Davis, at both points, well, Parks was carrying an injury through the whole tournament, Davis wasn't right towards the end, and I just felt they ran out of players to do those special things they needed to win. Players like Adams, etc., Wainwright were doing their best, Gareth Davis, but it wasn't quite enough. So anyway, that's what I'd say about their World Cup campaign and why I was fairly positive about it, and why I think Wales fans have been overwhelmingly proud of their team. So let's have a quick look at Gatland's record before we finish. 151 tests, so many matches, over half winning ratio over all games. That goes up for the World Cup and up even further to 71% for Six Nation wins. That included 4 titles and, more importantly, 3 Grand Slams, which is absolutely fantastic. And let's not forget they got to 2 World Cup semi-finals. Ireland, Scotland have got nowhere near that in their World Cup record. So, I think that's very impressive. Then, of course, when he's coached a lot of the Welsh players in the British and Irish Lions, he won a series in Australia and then he drew that series in New Zealand. It's a fantastic resume for a Welsh coach. Definitely the greatest Welsh coach of the professional era. Where does he rank overall? Well, let me know, Welsh fans. So please let me know what you think about their World Cup campaign, about Gatland's overall record. Do you agree with me or do you have differing views? That's absolutely fine. If you want to buy any Welsh gear, I've still got my 10% code. If you use the links below, you can grab some of that. Anyway, guys, until next time, I will see you later.